Welcome to episode 135 of Thunder Underground. My name's Trent. This is Jason. And guess what? We've got 3D in your face back here on this podcast.
Again.
It's been about a year, so it's good to have these guys back.
For sure.
Yeah, we've got Chris and Sam. Going to be chatting with them here in just a bit. We talked to them recently on Skype. You know, we'd met with them out of Rocklahoma, but didn't really make it happen, so we did it right after Rocklahoma and got that thing here for you. We've also got a few different new singles that are out we want to talk about.
Definitely.
A few other things. We're going to play some music from our good friends in Fist of Rage.
Yes.
But I think up front we've got to mention David Z and Adrenaline Mob.
Yes.
I'm sure by now everyone's seen it, whether you were a fan or knew about Adrenaline Mob. It made a lot of news because they had this crash where the semi ran into their RV. And, of course, it took the life of David Z, the bass player, and it put a few other people in bad condition, and their tour manager is still in critical condition.
Yes.
That's the last I've seen on, I don't know if anybody else is as bad as her, but hopefully not.
The latest report I read was that everybody was pretty banged up, but she's got it the worst right now. I mean, obviously, except David Z, who's passed away, unfortunately. If you guys Google these pictures, I'm sure if you're following it, you've seen them. It's horrific as hell. I mean, the thing was just swallowed in flames. You can just see the remnants of the RV, and it's amazing that anyone got out alive.
I saw that post where Russell Allen talked about, I guess him and a cop were pulling several people out of the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right before it was engulfed in flames or whatever.
It's just the worst. And, that's something you got to remember is, sometimes, people think that guys in bands are living the life and, all that kind of stuff. But it's hard out there on the road. You're in vans, RVs. Sometimes conditions aren't the best. And, so, just keep them in your thoughts, send good vibes and, crank some Adrenaline Mob. It's pretty terrible thing. David was also in Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He had a show on IFC. So it's just, another unfortunate happening in the Adrenaline Mob camp.
Yeah, they've had some hardships.
Yes.
Throughout the years, but they've kept it going. And, that band kind of, even previous to now, has always been a rotating cast of people, it seems like, outside of Russell Allen and Mike Orlando, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And they were scheduled to be here in Tulsa in September, and I hope that still happens. Who knows what's going on or how it's going to play out, but, we'll see, and we'll just kind of stay tuned. Yeah,
they're playing both Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
That's right.
But, yeah, they haven't talked about anything on that, and there's no reason that they would be worrying about the tour plans at this moment.
I'm sure that's the least, and it should be the least of their worries right now. They just got to get better and, get back to some normalcy.
Right. He was also in that band, ZO2. Is that how you say it?
ZO2.
Yeah, because I saw Bruce Kulick made that post because they had opened for Kiss a few times way back when he was still in Kiss.
I see. Yeah, that was David and his brother. Yeah, ZO2. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you said, condolences to his friends, family, the band, and of course fans. Like you said, crank some Adrenaline Mob if you never have. They've got a lot of great stuff.
Everything they do is great.
Yeah, just great, solid heavy metal. I'm a massive fan of Russell Allen, so I'll tell you to listen to some Symphony X too.
Yeah.
I know that's not here or there for what we're talking about, but I just like to throw it in when I can. Well, on to better news. Should we start with, what do we want to start with? Let's start with Accept.
Okay, let's do this.
Or Accept, however you want to say
it. However you'd like to say it.
Yeah. They've got this new single they put out this past month called The Rise of Chaos.
Yeah.
And that's a good title because that's kind of what you feel like when you're listening to it, right?
Exactly. I mean, if you know anything about this band, you know what they sound like. They don't stray from it. They know what works, and they know what their fans want. Rise of Chaos is no different. I mean, this one is just a kind of, like I like to say, a ball squasher from the first note. You've got the machine gun drums, the riffs, just that, that old school metal, they've got the German, they got the gallop. I mean, it's great. And the vocals, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that opening riff, well, throughout, it's just badass. And, just like you said, any of their songs, but you just listen to this, and if you didn't know who it was, you could tell they're from Europe, Like you said, they got that German gallop or like whatever, the chorus, you feel like it's a cross between that Europe metal feel and, of course, just that classic old school heavy metal.
Yeah.
And that's all it is, there's nothing fancy going on, but it sounds like Accept.
That's right. And, since they've kind of, those last, 8-10 years, they've came back with Mark Tornillo. The 3 or 4 albums they've put out have just been stellar. Yeah. I mean, the production, it's crystal clear. It's just, it's slick. It's on point with what you want from bands like this. And I can't wait to hear the rest of this new stuff. It's going to be great. Yeah.
I feel like I always dropped the ball with this band for some reason. Every time one of these new albums have come out, you tell me how great it is. I listen to it and think, man, this is badass. Yeah. And then it just kind of, for some reason, drops off my radar after I listen to it. Then the next one comes out and I think, holy shit, this band's great. And then I don't know why.
Yeah.
And maybe this will be the one that fully engulfs me.
It needs to. It needs to. I mean, it's like, I love all their shit, but if anybody out there is, wanting something to listen to that they're not really sure about, or, just need something new that they haven't heard, go look up Blood of the Nations. That record is fucking phenomenal. Accept Blood of the Nations. You'll literally get on your email and type me a thank you note. Seriously.
Right. Dirk Schneider's out there doing his thing too. Where
Yes.
He's playing, supposedly, this tour he's doing. I don't know if he's doing it over, in Europe through the rest of this year, but early 2018 he's doing an American run, and it's supposedly the last time he's playing Accept songs live.
Hadn't he said
but
that?
He said that this past tour as well.
Yeah.
But it's supposedly, the press release I read said it was also a completely different set. So maybe it's just like, here's the other songs I didn't play.
Yeah, exactly.
With the few that I'm going to play or whatever. And then supposedly after that, it's nothing but his stuff. But, it's just another one of those cases where, you've got two chances out there to see bands putting on great music and representing the stuff. So
that's right. And Udo's another. Go look up some of his solo stuff. It's the same kind of just crystal clear, just machine gun stuff that you really like from that ilk of musician, and from Europe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, on a kind of flip side, Steelheart just released a new song just like literally like 2 days ago.
Yeah, let's kind of go the other side there. It's
called Got Me Running. And they put out a press release as well talking about this album that's coming out. I think it's like September 15th, somewhere around there. It's on Frontiers, so hopefully it'll get a little bit of a push because they put out a lot of great stuff from that era over the past last few years. And I'm really excited about this because I'm a huge fan of Mili Majetovic's voice.
Yeah.
I always think I'm screwing up his last name, but this song, it didn't, it wasn't what I was expecting, kind of. I expect, usually when someone releases something, it's like the first song they release is just like in your face. And Steelheart, has a lot of in your face heavy stuff. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of one of those mid-tempo kind of jams, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's got a great chorus, great vocals like you always expect from him. And, I was excited. I liked it. I can't wait to hear the rest, because it's been 7 years, I think, since that last time they put out a new album.
Yeah. I mean, it's, for me, I got, they went a little bit more of a bluesy direction, kind of maybe kind of a that kind of whiskey-soaked, kind of Roadhouse kind of feel.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
It kind of made, sometimes I felt like I was driving through the desert or something.
Yeah.
And they just kind of, did something different, had a different feel, and that's great. Like you said, the vocals that we all know and love from Mili are still there, and they're still just, ripping your ears out. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to hear the rest of this, and hopefully does some American touring.
Yes.
Because they're going to be doing some overseas touring, but
yeah. Always.
get him back around here. We fortunately got to see him last year at Streets Gone Wild in Tulsa.
That was great.
And looking forward to doing it again. Well, let's talk about something local.
Let's do it.
Fist of Rage.
That's right.
They have new music. They've talked about they've been working on an album for a while. Vernon's kind of pulling an Axl Rose and just like dragging this shit on, you know.
He's going to love that you said that.
Well, go check out, we mentioned this the last couple episodes, but we were on an episode of Porch Talk about, 2 weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. And Fist of Rage was the guest, and Chris and Laura invited us to be a part of it as well. So you can go hear about all that stuff. But we've got this new song called Stagnant Water. We want to get into this right now.
Every day's rewinding cycle, can't seem to break myself. Face down in blood-soaked vomit, like transit hollow shell. How can you feel my addiction? My back's against the wall. Another deal feeds my addiction. As me sinking down extended water. I plant the seeds of sorrow, no hope of promise left. Sold out my soul tomorrow, spent home to taste neglect. How can you feel my addiction? My back's against the wall. Another deal feeds my addiction. As me sinking down extended water.
Stagnant Water from Fist of Rage, straight out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So what do you think?
Oh, man. What a great fucking song. I mean, just riffs and, it just, right out of the gate, just punches you in the face. I think Andy's vocals are, they're top notch. I really like, his vocals coming right out of the guitar solo. he's pushing it, and he's kind of doing, he's taking some risks and it's working. And, and then, the solo itself was badass. I mean, just, I love these guys. What can I say?
Yeah. We've said that a bunch of times.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
I just like how thick this song sounds.
Yeah.
It just sounds so full and thick and huge. And I'm not talking about the drummer.
Jesus Christ.
I know that's where you were wanting to go with this.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I'm talking about the music.
Is this thing over yet? Jesus.
I'm talking about the music here.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, everything about it's great. I love these guys, and we've seen them live a bunch of times, and they sound this great live. And like you talked about the vocals, he's got a recognizable voice, and it really fits well, and it's distinguishable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about that. Yeah. And,
you said the drummer. You didn't even say Josh. You just said the drummer that drummer, that guy.
Wasn't that his name? His name's what, 12 or 13? 12.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
the number 12, not...
In any case, this is a great song. I hope you guys hit repeat on this and just listen to the song over and over, because it's definitely worth that.
Definitely. So yeah, get on Facebook and follow Fist of Rage. Check them out when they're in your area.
Yes.
Well, what else did we have? We have Saigon Kick. I was going to bring this up because it's been a couple weeks. I saw them the night after I saw Rammstein, but I was waiting until we had an episode where it was a little more, because that one was so long anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever episode that was on.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was really big for me.
Yeah.
I know I told you that. But Saigon Kick was high up on my bucket list of bands to see. Never got to see them back, in their original run. Mm-hmm. And then once they started doing shows again over the past several years, all they would ever do was, Florida or like the rock cruises or festivals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there was never an option to see them. And they finally booked like 3 dates in Texas at the end of June. And I think they even mentioned it had been 23 or 24 years or something since they'd been to Texas or Dallas, at least. Everybody just throws them in there, just like they have that thing that happened to Extreme,
Yeah.
They had the huge hit with like this acoustic rock ballad, or it's just an acoustic ballad, basically.
Yeah, and then their other stuff hit, and everybody was like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, like the song right after that too, "All I Want," was still like a love. Mid-tempo thing, kind of like Extreme had Wholehearted, which was another hit, but then after that, people never, so that kind of, I guess, might have turned off the people that were into heavy music.
Yeah.
But if you're into heavy music, you would freaking love Saigon Kick, because they've got all these songs like Hostile Youth and Peppermint Tribe and, God of 42nd Street's a ballad, but it's like really dark. And, to me, they're kind of the band that would truly... what's the right word, epitomize what was going on in like 1992.
Yeah.
Because they had all the melodic stuff that could fall into everything that was coming before that. And then they had all this dark, heavy stuff that was what was coming after that with like Alice in Chains and Pantera and Soundgarden, what was ever on the radio,
Yeah.
And they just kind of got lost in between all that stuff, I think. And they had two phenomenal, their debut album and their second album was both phenomenal, and their stuff after that was good, but there was only one other album, but...
Yeah, it sucks that, good bands that have, really good artists get lost in that, consumer type horse shit kind of thing.
And they had that same kind of feel like Skid Row where they could cross the boundaries of both sides, and this didn't happen. And Matt Kramer has a voice that's so unique and distinguishable. And so anyway, to see them live, saw them at Trees, which is a kick-ass venue. It's been... several years. I think the last time I was there was when we saw Alter Bridge there like 4 or 5 years ago, however long it's been. And so it was a really cool place to see him. And, it wasn't sold out, but there was a good crowd. It went back to the bar, it was full, decent crowd. And they
good.
Put on a great show. And, they played like an hour and 40 minutes. And it was like half the first album, half the second album.
Yeah.
Exactly kind of what you expect. Extremely happy to finally be able to knock this off my bucket list.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. And all the guys came out afterwards, and it's still the same core dudes. Like I said, Matt Kramer, Jason Beeler, Chris McLaren.
Yeah.
They're all there. Phil Verone isn't, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, he's off making porno somewhere with his gigantic cock. He is.
I know.
There's a
That's
fucking
great that you know
documentary
that.
about it.
I know.
Of course, yeah, I know. My mind's in the fucking
Drummers, here we go again,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, fuck.
Well, so this past weekend
Yes.
at the Shrine in Tulsa, there was a concert, and it was called Murdock's Birthday Bash.
Yes.
Because Steve Murdock was celebrating his 58th birthday.
Jesus.
Sorry, Steve, actually.
Man, you're with the whole Axel thing and this, you're going to piss some people off.
No.
I love you, Steve. Happy birthday. Trent obviously has something, against you. Whatever.
No, he knows how I feel. Had a great lineup with Grind, Reliance Code, Stanley's Revenge.
Curse the Fall.
Yeah, Curse the Fall. So where do we start? Stanley's Revenge.
Yeah. We saw these guys a long time ago. They were just like 3-piece, I think.
Yeah.
It was just instrumental. Great to see him with a vocalist and another guitar player, and just heavy, just the exact kind of metal you want. The vocals are great. Is good to find. I missed him a month or two ago at the Vanguard, so I'm glad I finally got to see him.
Yeah. That when we saw him instrumental, it was good and it was heavy. But the thing that jumped out at me most was when you added the vocalist that had he had heavy growling vocals. Mm-hmm. That brought the music up to make it sound even heavier, I think. It's usually what vocals like that'll do.
That's right.
Not that I don't remember if they're actually heavy or not, but if that's the voice that did it or not, but it had a heavier feel to it to me for sure.
Yeah.
And another thing we kind of talked about is these guys started, we're like, this is cool. Second song, we're like, yeah, this is good. But it just seemed like it was one of those bands that every song, just a little bit more, and it just kind of built, and then every song, you're like, man, this is better than the last one.
Yeah.
Which is a cool vibe when a band can pull that off.
Definitely. It definitely draws you in.
Yeah. Then we had Reliance Code, which, how many times are we going to talk about how great these guys are?
What do we need to say? I mean, what do we need to say? They came out, they did their set, they did all the songs that, we know and love. They put on the show that we expected them to put on. Just, top-notch vocals, catchy songs, hooks, just a great set, just fun the whole way through. I mean, we can't say enough great things about Reliance Code.
Yeah, their new album's been out over a month now, and you've got to get it. Fantastic. If you're into heavy music, these guys have a fantastic album. It's like 8 tracks, and it's one of those hashtag all killer no filler albums.
That's right.
Where, you could put on any of them at any time. Like you said, they're all catchy. It's like every time I see them or I listen to that music, one of those songs is stuck in my head, and the cool thing about it is it's a different song every time.
Yeah.
And that's the mark of great songwriters, right?
It sure is.
So, yeah, check out Reliance Code. We had Grind.
Yes.
That was just the last episode, right? 134.
I know.
Yeah, we debuted this new song, Bridges, and they cranked it out that night. And
Hell
it came
yes, they did.
Came off live great, just as it did recorded.
Yeah.
So go back and listen to 134 so you can hear this song. You can also hear it on their Reverb Nation, their Facebook and everything. But yeah, I mean, these guys put on a fantastic live show, and all 4 of them, we've mentioned this before, all 4 guys, it's one of those bands where they all kind of command your attention to what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just like I just said with Reliance Code or Fist of Rage or any of these bands, it never gets old no matter how many times you see them.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect what you said. It never gets old. And, it's just such a good vibe when they're on stage. You feel like you're watching a national band. And you feel like, it's one of your all-time, like, huge arena bands are like doing an exclusive club show or something, and you get to be right there.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, it's such a good vibe, and I mean, I can't say enough for their musicianship and the fun they give off.
Yeah, and I mean, you see it in the, crowd too. Like, we're fans. we know other people fans, people that we don't know are fans, and then you've got the other bands. You get like Reliance Code was all down there.
Yeah, definitely.
Rocking out, singing along. You know, Andy from Fist of Rage and Paulette from Fist of Rage are both there. Andy's like up on the bar going nuts, you know, almost to a level of like, this is his favorite band of all time, you know. He was doing the same for Reliance Code, so.
There you go.
Bringing him drinks, it was great.
I mean, I can't, we had such a good fucking time. They're just great people to hang out with. You know, I'm telling you, we need to have some kind of barbecue over here and get all these people over here and, you know, we can all make some bad decisions and have a lot of drinks or something.
Oh, you're saying that on the podcast.
I'm telling you, because maybe it'll start, you know, putting those wheels in motion.
Yeah.
But no, But no, it's just fun, just a great hang, and it was good to see everybody, and just a blast. Had a blast.
Yeah. So thanks to Steve Murdock for
happy birthday, Steve. This is all him, and he got a fluorescent green shirt, and you know, it was great.
Hell yeah.
Happy birthday.
Definitely. All right, we got Chris, Sniper, Hineline, and Sam Spade Morse from 3D in Your Face. And
Hell
Midnight
yes.
Devils.
There you go.
We're going to talk to them here in a minute, but I think let's play some music from them first.
Why not?
It's been a while since we've done that. In the past, we played their song Static Renegade from their most recent album, Lost in the Volume. Before that, I think we played In Your Face from the album before that. So we've got another song from their most recent album, Lost in the Volume, called Memphis Mile. Check this out.
Another ride down that Memphis mile. She said you
That was Memphis Smile from Lost in the Volume by 3D in Your Face. That song actually features Sam on vocals.
Yeah.
They play this thing live when we've seen them every time.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, they've got this great classic, you know, melodic 80s rock vibe, you know, but then when they play this, especially live, it pushes a little more in that punk direction.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's a great mix. Yeah.
Sam kind of brings that attitude no matter what.
Yeah.
The way he plays bass and just, you know, his style and everything.
Yeah.
And then Chris, you know, really balances it out with his just ripping melodic, you know, kick-ass guitar solos, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great combo that they've come up with, really.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just one of those bands that live, you know, it's just a sight to behold. You don't want to miss it, you know, if you get the chance, you know. And so happy we've got to see them the last 2 years at Rocklahoma. They've mentioned here in this interview that they're going to should be coming back our way here in the fall, so hopefully that happens.
Definitely.
They're in the Nebraska area, and they play around there all the time.
Just hard-working guys now. Just they put in the work. I mean, they're road dogs.
Yeah. Midnight Devils is another band with the two of them and drummer as well. Just a three-piece where they do a little bit more, I think kind of leans this way as well, but they do some, you know, some covers. They mix it up a lot, and I think they said it kind of gives them the freedom to do really whatever they want.
Yeah.
For a 3D in Your Face, it's more of what you're expecting, you know, with this, you know, kick-ass kind of 80s feel that we've got going here. Yeah. And, you know, some of their stuff is like it's weird combination like Michael Monroe and Kiss and the Ramones all thrown together.
All thrown into one.
Yeah. Exactly what you want from your music, right?
That's right.
But yeah, before we get into this, let's remind you, TheThunderUnderground.com, Facebook, / The Thunder Underground, YouTube's at The Thunder Underground. We just recorded an episode with Bill Leverty.
Yes.
Of Firehouse. So, if you like 3D in Your Face, you might like Firehouse.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah, that should be coming soon. But anyway, let's get into this right now with Chris and Sam from 3D in Your Face.
Sam, are you in your van?
Yeah.
And you're vaping?
I'm smoking in the van.
Hey,
it's terrible.
We'll take a screenshot and put it on our Facebook.
Oh,
no, I don't think so. What's wrong with his hair? It's in a ponytail.
The fucking prison mugshot's what the fuck it is. Jesus Christ, man.
Yes.
Cool. Well, you guys want to talk about your drummer situation leading up to Rocklahoma?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just jump right into this, I guess.
Yeah, we'll jump in. It was a pretty messed up situation. Sniper and I had decided going in that last year when we went to Rocklahoma, we went straight to the festival, did the festival, went back home. And we kind of thought it was a wasted opportunity for us. So we were like, let's book a tour down to Rocklahoma. That's what bands do, is you get on the road and play shows. And so we're like, we booked out a week in advance. So we did about 10 days. We booked a 10-day tour about, 6 months ahead of the Rocklahoma thing. And we get out there on the road and things are going great. We're on like night number 4 of the tour, played in Kansas City, played with an amazing band, got off the stage, did the bow when we were selling merch, and we couldn't find the drummer. And then hours go by, and his drums are still up on the stage. And we're like, where did he go? And we ended up getting a text that said he went back to Omaha, and he was bailing out of the tour, basically. So we were kind of floored. We were just scrambled. We were in a strange town in the middle of a tour, got the biggest shows of our career coming up, and we have no drummer. So we decided to scrap what we had and drive back to Omaha in hopes to kind of convince him to come back out on the tour. And he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't leave, he wouldn't leave Omaha, basically. And we got a hold of Daniel. Daniel Kluter is a guy from a band called The Rumors out of Waterloo, Iowa. He recommended us Jimmy Metz from the Prophets of Addiction, who we played with at the last Rocklahoma tour. And Jimmy was like, I'm totally on board. Just get me to where I need to go, and we'll make this happen. And we overnight. I overnight drove to Chicago, picked him up, drove back to Omaha, got in a van, and 7 hours later, Sniper drove us to Oklahoma City, and we made, the rest of the shows.
So your other drummer, like, was that his drum set, and he just left?
Yes.
He left it all there. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's insane, man.
He did. There's like a car waiting from us at the club. He must have lined it up earlier in the day when we were sitting in the dressing room, and he had, it's like he had planned it, but he didn't tell anybody. And played the show, got in the car, didn't say bye. We didn't even see him after the bow. We didn't even see him. That's
insane.
Yep.
It was black and white and grainy for me. I remember it being a little bit different, I thought the sea was very angry that day, my friend. I really don't remember much. I'm not going to insult him or anything, but he had some personal issues involving addiction and a couple other things. And you can't fight something that strong. It's just he couldn't be away from whatever it was, his girlfriend or whatever the other thing was that long or something. And I wish him well. I hope he does okay. I'm still mad at him.
Yeah.
That's kind of anything to do to your bros, but
Well,
what else to say about it other than that?
Yeah. Well, did Jimmy mess when he came in? I mean, did he just like listen to the songs all night, or just just
that's
winged
exactly what he did.
Wow.
I sent some links on Messenger on Facebook to some of our originals and the song list, and he drove and listened to the songs while we were, when we were going to Rocklahoma, and we played a date in Oklahoma City the night before.
He's such a good dude, like consummate professional. He's like, I've heard all these songs, the beginnings, the endings, and that was it.
Wow.
So he didn't have any time to rehearse anything before Oklahoma City, did he?
No.
Nope.
We did a lot of hand signals on stage, like stop here, 2 times here, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty admirable.
So, yeah, he's a good dude, and was that he not gelled with our band or well with us personally. He's into the same music we are. We had like 24 hours in a moving vehicle to kind of get acquainted with each other on the spot, and we talked about like bands that we were into, and he'd been out with the Prophets for like a 3-month-long tour. Wow. And he's like, it was great, man, but 3 months is a long time. And it was just like we gelled instantly, and like we kind of all grew up on the same style of music, and that the weird like early 90s like glitter punk scene.
Yeah.
Seems like we both had that in common, and we're like, we could just go on for hours. So it really made the drives like they were pleasurable. I thought they were great.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, I saw that you guys posted that he's filling in for these upcoming shows. Have you guys approached him about being the permanent drummer, or have you thought that far ahead yet?
I don't know how much we're supposed to talk about, how much he wants us to talk about. But, after on the way back from Rocklahoma, he's like, you know what, guys, I really enjoy this band. I enjoy the music you're doing. I enjoy that you want to go out and still have fun, like after the shows and party and meet girls and stuff like that. That part I really enjoy. So let's see what we can do about making this work as a permanent thing. So right now we're like, you want it to happen immediately. We're in like the baby steps mode. So it's coming in this weekend. We're doing a couple shows, and we're just gonna kind of take it from there and hope he can as he can.
Yeah, I guess the other logistics would be someone that doesn't live close to you, really. So.
Right. That's the part. That's the troubling part. But bands have made it work, and that's just another obstacle to overcome. And I think we can make it happen.
We'll talk about Rocklahoma. I mean, these are the bigger shows that you guys have played, and you've done it 2 years in a row now. What kind of response or reception have you noticed coming back the second year?
Crazy huge. It was.
Sniper.
Yeah, everybody recognized us. Everybody was like, it's like last year we were new, And so we met some people, and some people was their first year too, and so we kind of bonded with them right off the bat. And like Sam said, we get out of the van and people just running up and hugging us, saying, "How you been, bro? We haven't seen these people in a year." They're asking how we are. We're seeing how they are. It was really, really amazing, I thought.
Yeah, I think it's that camaraderie. You know, I always liken it to rock and roll summer, and it's like we saw you guys on that first day, and it was just like everything was kind of like we picked up from a year ago.
Yeah. Well, and you guys you got upgraded to the second stage this year.
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit.
That was huge. It was really like the story. It's like one of those stories I don't never get tired of telling. And we were sitting in. It goes back to like 10 a.m. We wake up 10 a.m. Everybody's dog tired, and Joe Maglia from WRC 24/7 invited us to go to breakfast, to show up fully dressed in all of our gear at this little diner in Pryor. And it was the scene you imagine. Like, the three of us walk in, and it's like the record stops, and everybody drops their forks at the same time. And it's just like, 10 in the morning in Pryor, Oklahoma, all these farmers are out eating breakfast, and then in walks these three guys in eyeshadow, and it was quite the scene. So we kind of pick up, and we get to our media. Our media schedule started at 11, and we started doing our interviews and stuff. And like by the second interview, the record label representative Belinda's calling us, and I'm like, why is she calling us? We're right in the middle of an interview. She knows you can't do that. It's rude to answer the phone. And I answer her, and she's like, I'm about to make your day. And I go, what are you talking about? She's like, get your shit and get over to the second stage. You guys are opening up the whole festival. Don't fuck it up and make me proud. Well, I didn't even know what to say. Like, we were in shock, And we had to scrap the rest of our interviews, and we got in our van real fast and drove over to the second stage. And like the production guys met us there, and we opened up the van, and they pulled all of our gear out of the van and put it up on the stage. It was legit like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I felt the coolest thing ever is when I was like playing around with my amp, and they go, well, how many watts and how many tells do you want? I'm like, what's that? How many, what's that? And I said 2 and 2. And when I came back, there was 2 towels and 2 waters on my amp, and I'm like, oh, this shit's real now. It's real.
Nice. That's how you knew.
Yeah. We had a dressing room with Nutter Butters and fruit and beer and water and nachos, and I was like, oh. And they said, just take all of it. I'm like, I'm taking all of this right now.
Every bit of it.
And the other guys on the retro stage were like, how was it over there? I'm like, it was heaven. You guys wouldn't even believe if I told you.
Well,
but playing in front of, you bumped your audience up from 500 to 1,000 to 1,500 just in that little jump. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, you guys you put out Lost in the Volume last year, right before Rocklahoma. So you've had a year to set on this thing. Like,
yep.
How do you feel about it now, and where are you guys looking to go from here? At least as far as recorded music goes.
I'm extremely proud of the record. I'm extremely proud of the songs that we put out on that record. And if anybody knows 3D in Your Face, that we've had trouble with drummers. That's just our thing. I've come to accept this fact that we will not, maybe we're there now with Jimmy. That's my prayer, is that we're there with Jimmy, but we've had trouble. So it's like we haven't had a consistent sound because we've had different drummers on every record. Lost in Volume is great, and we've toured it for a year, and the songs stand up in a live setting, which is the coolest part. We'll play those songs, people love them, they go, I can relate to those songs. So what's next is Sniper and I have been touring out as a 3-piece called the Midnight Devils, which is like it's basically 3D in Your Face without Alan. The singer decided he wanted to take some time off, and we're like, fuck that. We're going to go out, and we're going to tour like we think we should tour. And we're going to play shows in different cities, different states, and just be a rock and roll band on the road. Nobody's doing that anymore. We're going to do it. And so we're kind of pushing towards recording a new record with the Midnight Devils. I think that's our next logical step. Sniper?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is the chemistry changes when you subtract or add a person. It changes quite substantially. And Sam and myself were in agreement that, let's get rid of the lasers. Let's get rid of the big production lights. Let's just do some raw, gut-level rock, 3-piece, and just go out there and kill them and not worry about if the lights look good or if we got lasers, if we got all this extra shit that makes the, So I feel, and that takes away from the music. All the lasers and the lights and all the production takes away from the music. Whereas you see a guy like, we had talked about Keith Richards doing this thing where he just would show up and play these small gigs with no production, just real bare bones. And that was kind of the premise for doing the Midnight Devils. And that's what we kind of do. I mean, we literally go out there with hardly any lights or hardly any PA, and we just destroy the place. And we play a lot of places, and they kind of give us that look when we walk in the bar. And then by probably 6th or 7th song, we got them. They're hooked because, we just get them with honest to God, honest, true rock and roll. Just we grab them and don't let them go. It's a little bit different 3D in your face. That's more streamlined and more, production and, more like a giant rock show where we're just doing a bare bones thing and trying to make it happen and let the music do the talking.
Yeah.
I guess that was a huge answer, but that's what I was trying to say.
No, I mean, that was actually on our list, talking about, recording Midnight Devils and kind of the different mindset you go into when you do a Midnight Devils set as opposed to 3D, that kind of, what you're talking about, that kind of raw, stripped down thing, I think that's great.
Yeah, it becomes loose, and I think Sniper will agree with me on this, is that we kind of felt like we were tied down in 3D in your face. With the Midnight Devils, we get to do, we're free as artists. We get to do whatever we want on stage, off stage. There's nobody kind of calling the shots. We are our own bosses.
Uh-huh.
And so we play whatever we want to play. If we want to play Elvis Presley, we're playing Elvis Presley. That's how you feel.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is we really don't have many rules. The only rules we really have on stage are don't be a dick and don't do drugs. That's about all I'm asking for. But it's very freeing to. I just tell them, hey, I'm gonna go another 8 bars with the solo. I just give it keep going, and we do it. And we couldn't really do that in 3D, So
yeah, well, that's where the magic happens, though. When you want to go, just one more.
right, yeah.
Well, you talk about.
I think you guys even said it, but oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I mean, you mentioned the different, feel on stage, but when you play something like the second stage of Rocklahoma with 3D in your face, and then you play like a club with Midnight Devils, do you still just approach everything the same way? You just go up there to do what you want to do?
I think so. I think you're it doesn't matter. I think you got to approach it like every show is Rocklahoma. Every show you want to perform your best and give the best. And it's not even that, it's that we love playing. So every show that we get to play, we're excited. I'm just as excited that I am playing Rocklahoma as I am playing a club in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm happy to be there. Best job in the world.
Right.
Yeah, we played a show in Oklahoma City the night before Rocklahoma, and the sound man actually came up to me and was like, I didn't know what to expect looking at your pictures and seeing you guys. I thought you'd be divas and be dicks and blah, blah, because he's had some bad experience with band. And his quote was, basically goes, you guys, easiest guys to work with, and you played here, even though it was 15 people in the bar, you played like it's Madison Square Garden. And I'm like, absolutely. And my philosophy's always been, once the amp goes on, I don't care if there's 2 or 2,000. I'm gonna, I'm gonna give it all and just have fun,
Yeah, well, because it might be 2 people, but they might tell a guy, and they might tell their friend, and they might tell another friend, and there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One might be the president of Warner Brothers Records.
You never know.
They're bringing us back to Oklahoma City. So
awesome.
I mean, in October. That's how it works. It's like we played 15 people. The 15 people told the bar owner, "Hey, we're coming back."
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's awesome.
Was that OKC City Limits, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I was curious. I know last time we talked to you guys, we talked a little about Michael Monroe.
Yeah.
Have you heard the new single "One Foot in the Grave"?
I have not.
Okay.
When did it come out?
Just, what was it? Maybe within the past month.
Oh man, no.
He's putting out like a B-sides rarities collection, and I think he made 1 or 2 new songs.
Well, he's a judge on The Voice of Finland, and they did a new song for that, so he could go perform it on the show or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Well, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by when Michael Monroe always gets like the best guys in his band. So like he had Ginger Wildheart, and the Drake band. He always has these amazing songwriters in his band that tell the song who helping him or something really cool.
Cool. What are you guys like personally listening to now? Is it anything? I mean, is there anything new out there that's jumped out to you?
Well, I know Black Country Community's got a new record coming out. I'm excited about that. Right now, I'm just listening to. Actually, I listened to last night. I played guitar for about 3 hours with a bunch of Gary Moore import CDs. You know, so
yeah, God, funny you said that. I went down a couple months ago. I went down the Gary Moore YouTube wormhole, and it just keeps spiraling and spiraling. That guy was awesome.
He was beyond amazing. Yes, I don't think he ever played a bad note in his life.
No.
I checked out the new Rancid has a new album coming out. They just put out a couple new videos.
Yeah.
And I was digging on that, and like Total Chaos just put out some punk rock bands just put out some really cool stuff.
Nice. Yeah, we just talked about the episode that went out today. We just talked about the new Rancid. I think it's great.
Yeah, I do too.
They're doing some really cool stuff. There's one song, Bova Rock and Roll. It kind of sounds like old Kiss. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's like it's not street punk. It's just mainstream. It's like mainstream Rancid. It's very cool.
Yeah.
So hey, could I interview you now?
Yes. Sure.
All right. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay. I met you guys. Who was it? Jason? The night in Rocklahoma that got a little foggy.
Yeah. There's a few of those, man.
The one where I think you were like, I had to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I ended up seeing you that night.
Yeah, there's a couple mornings where I guess I don't know, I'm getting older or something. I woke up in my tent and I just like, I got to go home and get a shower and get a real nap or something. That was me.
Yeah. I saw you that night, and you had like the deer in headlights. Like I've been hit in the face with a 2x4 look.
That was me. That was me. I apologize. I apologize now.
No, it's second question about interviewing Gene Simmons. What that was like.
It was a trip, but it was surprisingly easier than I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
Like it was
really?
real nervous going up to it, but as soon as we got in there, he was totally cool, and he wasn't like, a dick. He was being nice to everybody in there, and it just kind of made it seem like any other interview. So after the first couple minutes, I got over the nervous part of it, and it was quite an experience.
Yeah.
And then you talk. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, everybody around that show that day said that he was one of the kindest people and the best people to deal with. Of the rock star, celebrity, whatever, that say he was the best one to deal with because everything was about everybody else. Nothing was about him. He wanted to do what everybody else wanted. And we were no different. He treated us like we were Rolling Stone magazine or something. It was pretty cool experience.
So much, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was just it was great.
Did you just do an interview with Bruce Kulick too?
Yes.
Yeah.
We sure did.
So what's like compare the two?
It was Bruce Kulick was great too. I mean, he had that was a longer interview, and he talked and he was just pretty accommodating with his answers, and told some cool stories about being in Michael Bolton's band and stuff like that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and which I totally forgot about until he said that. And I was like, oh yeah, he was. And, you know, he was a great guy too. You know, so, I mean, they were both, it was just, you know, if you had told my 1992 self that I was interviewing Bruce Kulick, who played on like my favorite Kiss record, and Gene Simmons, I would have shit down both legs, you know. You know, but it's
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's all Trent. You know, he pulled it all together, so it all goes to him. All the props.
No, that Gene Simmons was a different experience just because, you know, Bruce Kulick was just on the phone, but still it was amazing to talk to him as well. We kind of covered everything, like you said. Michael Bolton, Billy Squire, Grand Funk Railroad,
Billy Squire.
Kiss.
Yeah.
And
you know, like, when's the Kiss non-makeup reunion happening? Did you ask that question?
No, we should have, man. We should have. Damn.
He probably would have said no comment.
That's what the people want to see.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But Gene did pull my beard, which is amazing, but I don't have it anymore. So I should have kept the beard that he pulled.
Oh man!
But no, it was great. It was great, and I just it was nuts. It was nuts.
That's awesome. No, those are the only questions I had. But thank you for the nice your podcast about Rocklahoma. You guys said some really great things about us, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. We enjoy the shit out of you guys. That's awesome.
And it looks like we'll be down there. We're bucking for the Midnight Devils to be down there next year.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's going to happen. We'll put out a record and try and be down there with the Midnight Devils next year.
Cool.
And we'll definitely shoot for seeing you in October as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, October, definitely. You guys are more than welcome. I can take care of everything. So
awesome. We appreciate it. We will be there.
Yeah, and Jimmy's excited too. I already told him about the show. He's like, let's go. He met a cute bartender down there, so he's excited.
Bam. Right on.
Awesome, guys. Well, once again, we appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, no problem. See you.
Chris and Sam from 3D in Your Face. There you go. We appreciate them taking the time out to talk to us. You know, we visited with both of them a couple times there at Rocklahoma, so very cool to be able to sit down again with them. You know, there was a little bit of issues there a couple times with Sam's phone or mic coming through, but I think Chris was pretty clear the whole time, so hopefully you got the gist of a couple of those things. But still, great interview. Great to talk to these guys again. And of course, they talked about Jimmy Mess filling in on short notice and doing the gigs with him now, so hopefully he becomes, you know, a full-time member of this. And, you know, it's very cool to hear how that worked out for him.
Yeah.
You know, because he's
that was
professionally pulled that off. You know?
Yeah, it's quite a story.
But yeah, check out 3D in Your Face if you haven't. Look them up on Facebook. Follow them. Get their albums. They've got 3 or 4 albums.
Yeah.
Lost in the Volume, the most recent one. Do yourself a favor. See them live if you get the chance. But like I mentioned earlier, thethounderground.com. You can find all our stuff on soundcloud.com/thunder-underground.
Yeah.
If you like 3D in Your Face, we've had on guys from Warrant, Trickster, Bullet Boys, Lillian Axe, Taiketo, Great White.
Europe.
Yeah, Europe, of course. And like we mentioned earlier, we just recorded one with Bill Leverty from Firehouse. That should be coming here in the next couple weeks. We've had heavier stuff. You know, we mentioned earlier Fist of Rage, Reliance Code, Grind. We had on all those bands here at different points. We've had on guys from Superjoint, Avatar, Kiss. I know both Chris.
That's right.
Chris and Sam are both big Kiss fans. They actually brought that up during the interview there.
Gene Simmons and Bruce Kulick.
Yes. So go back and check those out.
Yes.
Seven Dust, Avatar.
You just said Avatar, Dick.
Did I? Well, I like to mention it twice because
that was a good one.
Yeah.
That guy was nice as hell. That was one of the cooler ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all cool, but that one stuck out. That was a good one.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. We can say it twice. That's cool.
Right.
I'm sorry I called you a dick.
Thank you. So I'll say corrosion and conformity. Said it twice.
Yeah,
How about
true.
that? But yeah, Crowbar. Shine Down, Megadeth. The list is pretty long now. 134 episodes before this. Many of them are now on YouTube as well at The Thunder Underground. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that great stuff. Listen to us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central on 1027WSNR.com. We stream there every week. And you can listen to the rest of these anytime you please.
Hell yes.
All right. Till next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.